Hey Mom, it's me, Gabroll. I got the opportunity to work on a SomethingElseYT Multi Animator Project, and I wanted to give you guys a behind the scenes look at how it went. So Adam threw out a tweet asking for people to submit their work to be a part of a project that was coming up. And I didn't actually have anything. I ended up submitting the only animation that I had an example of. But he liked it enough and he let me in, and I was super honored because all the other animators in this project are awesome. So Adam let us pick which parts we wanted, and I ended up picking the part that I got because I really loved this character's voice and how just over the top he was. So I started by laying the audio down in Adobe Animate. I listened to it a bunch of times just to try and get a feel for the scene. Once I had a good idea of what I wanted to see, I actually started toying around with the character design. This was actually a really challenging part just because I didn't know if I wanted to do my style or Adam's style for all the characters, so I ended up kind of doing a combination of both. Here's actually a shot of some of the failed attempts that I had for Adam's character, and to be honest, I'm happy with the one I ended up picking. A really cool thing about this project was everybody who was working on it was on the Discord server, and so we all got to kind of bounce ideas off of each other as far as, oh, does this look good? And how's this character? Or is my background okay? Or hey, check out this meme. But it was really great to get everyone's feedback and kind of hone the design. That's something that I'm usually missing a lot of the time, is getting feedback from other people, because getting stuck in your own mind, you can be super self-defeating. You can kind of convince yourself out of ideas that are actually good. And that's why I was really grateful for all the people that were there, just to kind of get a better feel for what worked and what didn't. So once I knew how the characters were going to look, I laid down just some sketches, just a layer of the shots. Super loose and super simple in Adobe Animate. I actually went through it a couple times and I figured out exactly where each character should be. I just wanted to put some of the key poses down so that I would know what to do later. I actually didn't spend too much time on this. I didn't take any notes. I kind of just went with my gut, and I think it worked out okay. But I know that next time I'm really gonna put a lot more effort into this part because it's critical. It actually affects the rest of the project and how it looks and how well it flows. So once I was happy with the storyboard, I actually went in and started animating. And most of the time I'm animating on 2s, which just means I'm animating every other frame, so kind of 12 frames per second. But I also layered my assets so that I could go back in, and the things that aren't moving I wouldn't have to draw 100 times. And it was things like the mouth movements and the hands and little assets that are moving around in the scene. Those are the things that I could really focus on. I'm actually pretty new to animation. I mean, I animated a lot when I was a kid. I started with claymation movies with an old VHS camcorder, but then I decided I'd use a computer to animate. And I just kind of did some projects and I toyed around with it, but for the last several years, I haven't been doing any animation. I've been illustrating and designing t-shirts. But recently, I really wanted to pursue my dream of animation, so I got back into it. And so I've been animating now for like 2 months, and I've done a few projects. But this project was like the most fun I've had working on something in a long time. The animation itself actually felt really quick. It was the best part of the whole project, just because I got to kind of get tunnel vision and focus on the project and fill in the in-betweens. And I actually don't know the terminology. Are they called in-betweens? Once I was happy with the animation, I started working on the backgrounds. I prefer making my backgrounds traditionally, so I started with a sketch and then I cleaned it up with a pen, and then I made some copies in case I screwed it up, because I was actually really scared that when coloring in one of these backgrounds I was going to make a mistake I couldn't fix. But thankfully I didn't need to use them, and I ended up coloring in the scenes with Copic markers and some gouache paint for like the bigger areas. And then I just threw that stuff into Photoshop to clean it up and to cut out the windows so that the background would be transparent. I also animated a couple key elements just to give the scene a little bit more movement, so it wasn't just the characters. One of my favorite little bits is that in the whole first part, he's not touching the steering wheel at all. Another fun part was getting to figure out the character design for the James character, just because he ended up looking so happy. And I thought it was kind of ridiculous because I loved the expression on his face so much. So the last thing I had to do was animate the streets in the background, and I really thought I was going to animate these scenes but I had given myself a really short deadline to complete this project. I actually thought of an idea that might work better, which would be to just film some background footage. I wasn't sure that this was going to work, but I decided I would give it a try anyway, so I had my friend drive me around downtown. I filmed the first couple of scenes with my iPhone, but for the last scene, I knew I had to get some really clear footage. I ended up opening the hatchback of my car. It resulted in a really great shot, but I also nearly fell out of the car once he started going. And during that part, I was a little bit concerned about getting pulled over. I don't know if it's illegal to sit in the back of a moving car. If that's the case, I just want to let my personal FBI agent know that I just got this footage off the internet. Once I had everything ready to go, I layered everything together in Adobe Premiere. All of these different layers with different transparencies layered on top of each other, having everything come together was really satisfying. I kind of tweaked the colors a little bit and played it like 100 times for myself, and this is the result.
Listen, I have job. Business opportunity for you to make billions. Trust me. It's a great plan. Go on. I have script for kids TV show and you animate for me?
Anyway, it was honestly super fun to work on this project. I'm a really big fan of Adam's videos, and thanks again to Adam for being the awesome marshmallow that he is. Chances are you've definitely seen Adam's video, but just in case you want to watch it again, here's a link to the full video that everybody worked on, and it is absolutely so much fun to watch. Thanks for watching, all mom of you. Love you, bye.